What's the one window treatment mistake you could walk into that you could detect from the driveway?
A falling shade.
You know what? Actually, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
We're gonna learn more about how window treatments impact the house when we're talking to my friend Omar. Oh my God, the last name is tough. Orlortegui. All right, on the Loan Doctor podcast. I'm Rich Brandt, the Loan Doctor with the Brandt Lending Team, and welcome to my waiting room. So, Omar, how did you get into window treatments? Because you've done some other things before that.
Back in 2006, I started a different business with my cousin. We were doing hurricane shutters.
Okay.
So we had a small shop, and we were manufacturing basically accordion shutters, aluminum accordion shutters. And then we started expanding to other products, and we incorporated impact windows. Mm-hmm. But then we realized that that's a very seasonal business because people usually get their shutters or impact windows, especially shutters back then, during or right before the hurricane season and until mid the hurricane season, because they will realize that, if you are already in August, September, if you place your order, you're not going to get your products before the end of the hurricane season.
Right.
So they will stop ordering, and then it was a very seasonal business. So we were changing windows. We were dealing with windows a lot. And I said, okay, why not do shades and blinds? Back then it was basically blinds, not really many like roller shades. There was some Roman shades and curtains, but we said, let's start with blinds and shades. And that's how we started offering those. We partnered with a few manufacturers, and we start offering those, and we were kind of successful with that. But unfortunately, if you remember well, and you do, back in 2008, 2009,
oh, yeah.
we got the
housing
bubble.
crisis.
The bubble burst, and nobody here in Florida were putting any money into their homes. Everybody, they were losing their homes. Foreclosures, short sales.
Everybody was upside down, yeah.
Everybody was upside down. So nobody was putting any money. So us being a fairly new business, we started getting into debt. And at some point we decided let's close the doors.
Just shut the doors down.
Just shut the door down. And,
okay.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I know that like I think of, and I would imagine that other people kind of think of, is it again, you've been out of the business for a long time, so maybe this answer might be a little bit dated, but does it cost more to buy the hurricane windows like during hurricane season or just prior to hurricane season as opposed to like in hurricane season when it's not going to be delivered until after?
I don't think it's going to cost you more
okay.
To buy it during the hurricane season. However, I will assume that you can negotiate better on the slow season, right?
I got you, right.
Right, like right after, right? Because people, the contractors are going to be slower.
Right.
So they might be more willing to, offer you a better deal.
Okay. All right.
I mean, they're going to take probably less profit, but right. But
that's sort of a good tip to kind of be aware of.
Yeah.
So the housing bubble, you had this business, and then what did you do before you opened up the shade company?
So even before I opened the
MySpace Shade, by the way.
MySpace Shades, correct. So even before I opened the hurricane shutter business, I already had a real estate license. So I was doing real estate as a realtor. And then after we closed, I went back to do real estate, and I did pretty well. And I'd done a few things. I don't want to bore you with all the things I done after, but I did real estate mostly, thereafter. And for a couple of years, I actually moved back to Peru. I'm originally from Peru.
Okay.
So I moved back to Peru. I started a business with my brother over there. That business is still running. But 2 years and a few months later, I moved back here. And that's when I started looking, okay, what I'm going to do now. I went back again to do real estate, but I I kind of like the brick and mortar business, right? Being a realtor, it's kind of like being, a business owner, but it's different. It's different. I wanted to start a business where, I can grow it, but at some point I can extract myself out of the business a little bit and, being on a more
Like absentee?
no, not absentee, but not something that in the future I can sell. For
Oh, I
example,
gotcha. Okay.
right?
So,
Or
right.
or pass down to my kids, right?
I gotcha.
That was kind of like the idea. But yeah, so that's why I started thinking, okay, what I'm gonna do now. I wanted to do another business, and the window shade business seemed like more something like I would like to do again, and I start looking in ways on how to get back into the business because the business had changed a lot because it's been probably by that time like I don't know more than 10 years since we closed our doors. It was like now the industry is totally different. There's when you talk about window shades and drapes, now there's motorization, there is automation. So I say, okay, what I'm gonna do, maybe.
Yeah, you're jumping ahead because I've got like a bunch of questions about that.
Sorry.
No,
maybe I'm
no,
talking
I'm
too
just
much.
teasing.
Just stop me.
No. I'm just teasing.
Okay,
You're doing
okay,
great.
okay.
You're doing great.
No, and I say, okay, well, maybe a franchise, right? Maybe I can buy a franchise, but I didn't have that much money.
Okay.
And I felt like I was going to be restricted on a territory. And, I said, let me start working for somebody successful in the industry, selling, so I can learn, again, what's new in the industry. And if, that's something that, if I see potential and it's really something that I want to do, maybe, open my own thing independently. And that's at the end what I did.
More or less what? Oh, so you went to work for a company that did shades and stuff like that, and then
as a
open
salesperson,
your own.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. From a budget standpoint, and
Mm-hmm.
this is getting maybe more personal than I had planned on getting, but I'm just kind of curious. From a budget standpoint, so you opened your own business,
Correct.
right? What did you sort of spend to sort of go out on your own? Like how much of your money did you end up having to use? Because like you mentioned, like franchising, and I don't have a lot of money. So what did it cost you to sort of open up your own business? Because it might surprise people that it might not be as much as people think.
Yeah, I guess it depends. I'm assuming on the industry, but in my case, it was more about starting to advertise. So paying for marketing. But initial cost, it was mostly buying samples.
Buying samples. Would you say if I said, did you spend about $10,000 to open? Was it more or less?
I think it was a little bit more. It was close to $20,000.
Close to $20,000, but then and that includes getting your license, doing all the stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
All of the startup costs were like about $20,000.
Okay.
At least that's the money that I put in the bank. I don't remember if I use it all.
Right.
But what I can tell you is I didn't need to put any more money after that.
Okay. Wow. All
Yeah.
right. That's kind of a success story. So you did one thing right that I definitely did wrong.
Oh, really?
So about 30 years ago, before I became the loan doctor, right, I opened up a business with me and my stepfather, and we opened up a delivery business.
Delivery.
And we had no experience in the delivery business, and I quickly found out why it takes 2 years generally for new businesses to make money, right?
Correct.
The first year, you do nothing but make mistakes. The second year, you pay for them.
Yeah.
Right? And so it really kind of took us a little bit of a while to sort of get our footing. And even then, it took me 16 years before I started to get it to a point where I could eventually sell it, which is what I did. So yeah. I mean, there's more to it because we started doing deliveries, then we were doing a process service and all kinds of stuff. But we can talk about that another day. Sure. But I like the fact that you went and actually worked for a company that did it. so that you could learn at least a little bit,
correct.
and then go for that. Now,
you never stop learning. At least in this industry, there are endless quantity of products, and it's just never ending. But yeah.
So one of the things that, because this is a podcast that's, that a lot of times we talk about mortgage financing and stuff like that as it relates to people who are self-employed. Before we kind of went on the air, and you having that background in a realtor, you're at that stage now where are you thinking about like moving up or from your current house, or maybe buying additional real estate? What's your plans in the real estate market?
Yeah. So we're always considering, buying either, a second home that would become our primary residence. So, a little bigger, or sometimes, me and my wife are like, why would we do that? I mean, why not buy an investment property, right?
Sure.
And keep living the way we do. But sometimes, we go on a weekend to somebody else's house, and they have a bigger backyard, and you start thinking, oh, this would be nice for the kids and whatever. We live in a villa, so we don't have a backyard.
Okay.
We have a patio, covered patio, and it's okay. But things like that start, But we haven't decided what we're gonna do, and this is my third year in business,
right,
with my own company. So most of the money, I'm putting it back into the business, right?
Sure, of course.
So we're on a growing phase still. So yeah. So I think that's where most of the return will be for my money.
Sure.
But eventually, we would like probably to buy an investment home. Or who knows, another house for our family.
Well, I think any time you buy real estate, it's an investment, even if you're going to live there, right?
That's right.
There's also the possibility that you could buy the house that you're going to live in, and rent the house, the villa that you're in now.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. So, that would be ideal.
So
not to sell our home.
Yeah, that's generally what I try to do. Is every time I move, which seems to be a lot, is leave the property that I was in as an investment property and go and buy another house and just kind of add to that portfolio.
That's smart.
So, well, you try. So now that you're kind of self-employed, and when you bought your house, you weren't.
Yeah.
Now that you're self-employed, has the thought about like how that changes the dynamic when you guys do get sort of ready? Does that like cause you worry, or the loan doctor, so you're not really worried about it?
Exactly. No, I would probably. Okay, so me, having the background in real estate, I know that it's much more difficult when you're self-employed,
right,
to get approved for financing, because they're gonna look at everything, right, and make sure your taxes. It's not like when you're an employee, right? They look at your W-2s, and basically that's it. Business owners, it's much more challenging. Now, I gotta say that I'm a very lucky guy, because my wife, she's an architect. She's employed.
Okay.
And she does well, and so that helps also.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm very aware that if I want to buy another property, I need to be able to prove that I have the income as being a business owner. And that's why, I when I have to do my taxes, I tell my accountant, hey, just put whatever you're supposed to put there. Don't play with the numbers. And, because I want to be ready for, when an opportunity presents itself, to be ready to jump into that. A lot of people that, as a realtor before, I would work with some people that, say, but Omar, but I make good money, my business. Yeah, but when, we're showing when you show your return to the loan officer, it says that you're losing money every year.
So I'm going to tell you that this isn't we're we promised when we started the podcast that we were going to talk about shades, and I swear to God, we're going to talk about shades.
We're going to talk about shades.
But I've got to talk about this. Like
exactly.
This is my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad I brought you on. I'm actually glad I asked you the question, and I'm gonna tell you why. Your perception is completely wrong.
Oh, okay.
Is 100% wrong.
100% wrong.
Okay. So number one, I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I will tell you is when you're self-employed, the pieces of your puzzle, you have a little more pieces. They're a little bit more complex. But when you have the right lender, right, it's not any more difficult. Okay. It's not any more cumbersome. The trick is when you're self-employed, right? What we're trying to establish, and when you in the story that you talked about with your friend losing money, right? What we're trying to establish is how much can you afford in terms of a monthly payment, right? Now, a lot of times, in a traditional sense, you'll look at somebody's tax returns and you'll use the tax returns to make that determination.
Yes.
Right? But for somebody who's self-employed, sometimes using the tax returns isn't the best way to make that determination of what they can truly afford.
No. I thought that was the only thing.
No. You can absolutely there's other ways. So we can measure things like cash flow, how much money do you have coming into your business versus going out and stuff like that. There's when you're sometimes people have I'm not advocating that anybody cheat on their taxes, right? But sometimes you have accountants who are pretty aggressive in terms of what they do. And their job is to minimize your tax burden. And I will say this till the day I die. I 100% believe you should pay the government everything that they think they're owed.
Yeah.
All the money they think they're owed. The only thing they have to do is prove they can spend my money wisely. Until then, I should keep most of it because they haven't shown a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
So having said that,
that's universal, though.
That's universal, exactly right. There are definitely different ways to kind of come up with that number that doesn't have to be sort of the way that you think about it. Okay. And in your situation with your wife and being a W-2, that certainly helps and makes the formula a little bit different. And in terms of you guys too, is sometimes people buy a property at the top end of their budget. You probably don't. You probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? And having known you a little bit, I think you're probably a little bit more conservative. Yeah. So it's not going to probably take a lot of self-employment income for you to qualify. Okay. But it doesn't have to be the way that you kind of described. It's certainly not difficult in any way, shape, or form. However your taxes might look. So now let's talk about shades.
Let's talk about shades.
So if your showroom could talk, what's a question that every single customer asks in the first 5 minutes?
That's the thing. They don't really ask much questions. You have to investigate. You have to start asking the questions because they have no clue, right? They say, I need something here for my bedroom. It is just too bright or whatever. So, and then you got to start asking questions. All right. So to understand their lifestyles, right? How much time they spend on that bedroom. Okay. So let's say they only go there to sleep,
room.
Right?
Right.
Okay, so maybe you don't need, 2 layers of shades, right? One, maybe you just need a room darkening shade because that's basically all that you need. And then they start, say, oh yeah, that's right. I'm never here. I spend most of the time in this room. Okay. So, all right. So now, what are the pain points, right? Is this a problem, of too much light that it's not letting you watch TV, right? A lot of glare, or it is just too hot, or, whatever.
It's interesting just because I correlate it to like what I do. And so when I'm working with like a first-time home buyer, they don't know what they don't know, right? Yeah. Right? People don't do this all the time. People don't, buy window treatments and such all the time.
Yeah.
And it starts with investigating. Our investigation way is, what monthly payment do you want?
Exactly.
Right. That's kind of where we kind of start.
Yeah.
Tell me where the baseline is, and then we go to, how much money do you have? But kind of investigating and stuff like that. Now,
That's also a good point. So at some point, after they tell, they start talking and, revealing exactly, what is what they actually need and want. It's okay. Do you know how much, do you have a ballpark or how much this is going to be, this project's going to be?
okay,
Like 9 out of 10, they're going to tell you they have no idea because they don't want to give you a number, right?
right,
Because they just met you, right? So
right, sure.
so then you have to start,
Okay.
kind of like, okay, for something like what you want with, it can be this much, and they're,
Okay.
gonna tell you, oh,
Now,
I didn't expect it was gonna be that much, or okay, that's reasonable, and then you can work with that, right?
Are you working with interior decorators, designers, or do you give people who aren't working with designers like ideas and things like that to help them kind of go through that decision-making process?
Yeah, I would say like 50% of our business comes from interior designers.
Okay.
So they are a big part of, of what we do. And it's great to work with them because then they actually know what they want and what their client needs.
Sure,
right?
sure.
So it's more straightforward. Okay, just, Omar, I want this kind of shade here. Okay, so let's start to look some options. And obviously, they always need some guidance. No one can be an expert in every trade. And interior designers, they deal with many trades at the same time, right? So yeah, they always need guidance, but the process becomes much easier.
Okay.
When we work with interior designers. Homeowners, in the other side, when you're dealing directly with the homeowner needs definitely more guidance and more of our expertise.
Got it. Okay. All right. So blinds or curtains? Pick a side.
Curtains.
Really?
Curtains.
Wow. Why is that? Okay.
Well, if like I said, I work with interior designers. Most of the interior designers are going to specify curtains.
Really?
Yeah, curtains are, a lot of people, they think they're all style.
Yeah.
Not anymore. They're back. A lot of sheer fabrics, very translucent fabrics, light fabrics. It looks very modern, very beautiful.
Okay. What's your favorite room in a house to redesign with window treatments?
Oh, the living room for sure. The living room.
Okay,
Yeah, the living room. Because with the living room, you'll again, going back with the interior designers, they do beautiful things. They will have you put curtains, and then also hard treatment, roller shades, and and that's where it's gonna show.
Okay.
The better,
the most.
yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the strangest window that you've ever had to cover?
I really don't like odd shaped windows.
Okay.
Because you're very limited on the options, right? Like if you get a triangle window.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, you can put plantation shutters there, but
right.
But yeah, very limited on the options.
From your first consultation to installation, how long does the process usually take?
Okay, on average, it will take, from first consultation, let's say the client gives us the green light on that day, it should take 3 to 4 weeks for everything to happen.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, do window treatments help with energy efficiency?
For sure. And they are certain products that are going to help you more. Having whatever on your window is going to help you. Even if you put just paper there, it's going to help, right? Because it's blocking a lot of the light.
Sure.
But there are products like honeycomb shades. They are specifically engineered for trapping the heat on those shades. So also plantation shutters are very energy efficient as well. So those two products, honeycomb shades and plantation shutters, and even drapery is going to help you a lot.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So I just went to contract on my house.
Yeah.
And I do have window treatments, but yeah, I think I always had plantation shutters.
Yeah.
I think that's how we're gonna do it.
Plantation
so when you
shutters.
Measure.
Okay.
That's how we're gonna do it. We'll talk more about that
for sure.
When you see the house. So how do you balance like privacy with wanting natural light?
Okay, there's a product for that. and you can. So there are certain products that you can put light filtering fabrics. They're going to allow the light to come into the room, but they're going to give you full privacy. So nobody can see through that fabric. And you can do that with curtains, and you can do the same with roller shades or Roman shades, right? So there are a lot of products that will allow you to use a privacy fabric,
Right.
or light filtering fabric.
Okay. By the way, did you bring samples on the podcast?
No, you didn't ask for samples. Sorry.
All right, because you said Roman shades and all that. People might not know what that means. Can you describe what a Roman shade is?
Yeah, a Roman shade is it's kind of like the combination of a drapery with with a roller shade, right?
Okay.
However, it's not a roller shade. You know, it's pulled by strings.
Okay.
And it will stack up. But it's the fabrics that you can use there are like softer, more decorative.
Is more elegant?
It's more, it's for sure more elegant.
Okay.
It's more like of a soft treatment versus just
Would you recommend like a Roman shade for like a bedroom, or is that more for like the living room, like you were describing before?
You can put a Roman shade, whatever. You can even put a Roman shade, on your kitchen. A lot of people do.
Okay.
Like they're very, very flexible product. You can put it wherever. Not on huge openings, right?
Okay.
But usually medium to smaller sized windows. They're great product for those.
Okay. Yeah, I got to get my mind out of the gutter. You said openings, and I was thinking of something else.
I don't want to know.
All right, nobody wants to know. Not even our listeners. What's the real difference between custom and off-the-shelf window treatments?
That's a good question. So we only offer custom products. Okay. So, and what custom to us means is we're going to go to your house and we're going to measure your window to the 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to make our product to fit exactly the way it's supposed to fit. When you go and buy from any store, a standard size shade, that's what you get, right? That you get a standard size.
Right.
So it might not fit perfectly. It might do the job for you, but it's not the same. It's like buying a suit from the store, and then
right.
Yeah,
I got you.
The way it fits is
is going to be different. Okay,
it's going to be different. Yeah.
Now I know that we're here in Florida.
Yeah.
Are there materials that hold up better in Florida's heat and humidity than others?
Polyester for sure. Then, for example, linen. I always, linen. A lot of people love the linen look, and I do too. It looks really nice, but it wrinkles a lot. It shrinks a lot, or expands a lot. It depends on the weather. Okay. So here being so humid, so hot, it's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Now, how big a factor is like child and pet safety in what you recommend?
Yeah. Going back to when I started, every blind and shade will have strings, right? To pull them up, to open and close them. Now the industry is shifting to on the lower end cordless.
Okay.
And on the higher end to motorization. So, and just because of that, for safety and obviously convenience as well. But yeah, that's a big concern in the industry. So I try to stay away from cords. Every time I can sell a cordless shade, I will sell it. Versus
cordless shade is one where you just kind of pull it
down or up, and
right.
there are different cordless mechanisms. Some of them they're very precise. You just push it up just with one hand and pull it down and the same way. Before there was like a string cordless. It's harder to place it exactly where you want, but. Yeah.
Got it. Now you also talked about like motorized shades, and that's what's a motorized shade?
A roller shade, it's roll up into a tube. an aluminum tube.
Right.
Okay, so the motorist actually goes inside that tube.
Okay.
Okay, and before, if you want a motorized shade, you needed to plug it somewhere. Now they have battery shades, and even better, they have rechargeable battery shades. So you only really need to recharge those shades once or twice a year at the most.
Got it.
So very convenient, very convenient.
And they typically work with a remote.
And they work with the remote control.
Okay.
And if you want to automate them, also you can.
Like part
and
of
then
the
they
home
work with an
automation
app.
system.
Exactly.
And they work with an app.
And work
all that
with an
kind of
app,
stuff.
and you can do schedules or you can do scenes. Now we do movie nights at home, right? So you can have a scene for movie night, and you can name it movie night.
Movie
and
night.
you
and
tell
then all the
Alexa,
Alexa.
movie night scene, and then the shades will come down, and if you have also smart lights, the lights will dim. So there are a lot of cool things that you can do with automation.
Do we have smart plantation shutters?
Yes, there are motorized plantation shutters. Now,
Okay.
The way they operate is the louvers will tilt open and close, but not the whole shutter will open.
Okay.
Open. No.
So wait a second. So I'm trying to think about, so in my living room, if I have like all windows and I want to create like a movie night type of thing where we close all the windows in the house.
Yeah.
Right?
All the shades.
Movie night, boom. Would you recommend that? Would shades give us a darker? Would shades be darker than plantation shutters?
It depends.
Okay.
Because roller shades, you can put a blackout fabric on a roller shade, right?
Okay.
Now, that fabric is blackout. However, there's always a gap in between the fabric and the window frame.
Okay.
And it can be from, a 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch.
Right.
So there's always going to be light going through, coming to the room through those gaps. However, there are some systems that will come with side channels and bottom channels. So the fabric will be completely trapped into those channels, so no light will come in. So
Wow.
Yeah, and we actually offer those, and it's amazing, how dark it can get with those.
We're going to be putting this in my house. I want it dark.
Okay, so I'm taking notes. Plantation shutters and
well, no, maybe
blackout.
we'll just do plantation shutters upstairs.
Yeah.
And then movie night for downstairs. Okay, all right, I like this. So that kind of gets into my question: is how much does light control factor into the decision for people getting shades?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. That's a big thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Yeah.
And how do people decide between blind, shade, shutters, drapes, or like a combination? Like, what's that process like?
Okay, it depends a lot on a few things, right? First, what they actually need. If they need, like you said, you want full blackout, then you only can go with like that kind of product not even drapery, because drapery at the bottom, there's always, unless you make the drape longer than the opening height, and then you might be, but then when you open those, the fabric is going to be dragging right through the floor. So yeah, it will depend on the needs of the client.
Okay. We were talking about like motorized shades before. What percentage of the shades that you sell are motorized compared to manual?
I would say a quarter.
A quarter?
A quarter are motorized. They're definitely,
Is there a big price difference?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
I mean, there are all kind of motors, but we basically stay with just a couple of brands that we know they are reliable.
Okay.
We warranty all of our products, and
It's like you're reading the cue card.
we warranty all of our products, and most of our products except on motorization, they will have a lifetime warranty.
Okay.
And on motorization, it's standard, on the motors that we offer, 5-year warranty.
5-year warranty on the warranty.
On the motors.
Is the warranty transferable?
Why not? Yeah.
Well, sure, we'll do that. Oh, is
I mean,
so the warranty isn't like the manufacturer's warranty. The warranty is Omar from MySpace Shades saying, "We promise you're not going to have a problem."
Yeah, correct.
Okay, okay.
Probably not
So
with the
do you see
manufacturer. If
that?
you have
So-
the manufacturer will say
I got
no.
you. I got it.
But I'm the one making the phone call to the
I
manufacturer.
understand.
Right.
So if you're listening to the Loan Doctor podcast and you're listening to Omar
Orlortegui.
Orlortegui from MySpace Shades, right? And you go and you buy shades from him that have a motor, he's going to guarantee it for 5 years. And as long as you say, I saw you on the Loan Doctor podcast and you move, he'll still maintain the warranty to the new owner
For the new
for
owner.
5 years, up to 5 years.
From the
total.
moment, exactly, from the moment they bought it.
All right, I think it's all right. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty special.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So once installed, how much maintenance do the window treatments need?
They don't need any maintenance.
Okay.
No maintenance. It's just basically, undust them, cleaning, not even much cleaning. If it's a motorized shade and it has, you need to, if it's not hardwired, then you have to recharge it. Yeah. But that's it.
All right. So walk us through the measuring process.
Well,
what are the things that are important?
measuring is the most important thing, right? You want to get it right. These products are not cheap, so if you make a shade short, then you have to order a new one. So yeah, measuring. We use laser measuring tools.
Okay.
So it's very precise, and you need to know for what kind of product you're measuring. If you're measuring for shades, it's different than measuring for plantation shutters.
Okay.
Right. There are products that are more forgiving. And when I say forgiving, I'm talking about an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a shade might be more forgiving than a shutter. A shutter, it's a rigid structure, right?
Right.
If you order it, an 1/8 of an inch long, that's it. You're done. You have to order a new one.
Right.
So yeah, so you have to measure, and for example, plantation shutters, right? You gotta take 3 widths, 3 heights, and then depending if it's an inside mount or outside mount. That's very technical, but
I got it. So it's the point that I'm trying to make is it's not as simple as just taking like a tape measure and going, my opening is this, my opening is this wide, my opening is this long, I'm done.
Not for ordering. I mean, you can get an accurate quote with that, right?
Right.
But when you're measuring also, you're looking, okay, if it's a product that's going all the way to the floor, okay, do they have baseboards?
Right, okay.
Right? They have thick baseboards. The fabric is going to hit there and it's not going to reach the floor. Right. So do they have a door handle that is on the way? So things like that, so it's very important to take accurate measurements.
Do you work with builders as well as realtors?
Yeah. We work with custom home builders, with general contractors and realtors, like I said, interior designers. So those are good referral partners for us.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest mistake that homeowners make when picking out window treatments? Like if they weren't using you?
Probably buying online.
Oh, right. Like measuring it themselves,
measuring themselves, and then
trying to save a couple bucks.
The shade is short, and I mean,
right.
For the trained eye, when you walk on one of those houses, you can tell, right? Oh, that shade is short, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's not how it's supposed to be installed or whatever.
Okay.
What else? Not buying the correct product, right? Because they didn't get the advice, right? They didn't know. Like I said, when I go to clients' houses, they don't know really what they want. There's very few people that really know exactly what they want. So
I got now. Would you ever let somebody say design a window treatment, but let them install it themselves, or that's just not that nobody would do that?
If they want to buy it like that, if they give me the measurements and whatever, I let them buy it from me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but where you
but
come
I'm not going to warranty that.
Where you do the measurements, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to warranty it.
The product.
No, if
they
give me the measurements and whatever, I wouldn't warranty it, but I will sell it to them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some people that are, very handy.
Yeah.
And this is not rocket scientist either, right?
No,
It's
no,
not
of
rocket
course.
science. So it's, but yeah, if they want to do it, yeah.
Yeah. when
You want to buy your own shutters? You want to measure them?
no, God no. So when somebody's building a new house or home or doing a remodeling, when should window treatments enter the conversation?
Enter the conversation at any point, really. Early in the process is better.
Right.
So they can also make decisions about, let's say if they really want to put curtains, right? So it will be nice before they start buying furniture that is going to be very close to the wall or whatever, or if they, stuff like that, right? Or they're going to put built-in furniture as well. It's good to know what kind of products they want to do. Yeah. But they should be one of the last things to be installed in that house.
Okay.
Because you don't want any dust, right, or dirt, or the fabrics to get stained by, some other,
I got it.
projects going on at the house.
Right. You touched on it too. Is what questions should someone ask themselves before choosing like a style, like. And I think you mentioned like what kind of furniture are you putting in the room?
Exactly. What furniture, colors, what's your style? Maybe you're more classic, more traditional. Then maybe, like a nice, also, let's say go back to Roman shades. With Roman shades, there are some styles that are more traditional, and it will go with, a decoration like that. Versus, more like flat, sheer fabric is going to be more modern,
Right,
so
right.
yeah.
Okay. And so if somebody doing like a whole house project, let's say like a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house,
Okay.
3-bedroom house, whole house project, what should somebody like budget for that? Is there like a range that you could kind of give us that says, you're probably going to be somewhere there. It's really hard.
It's hard to tell because it will depend, with every product, even if it's just a horizontal blind, there's a wide range of prices because you can go with very basic vinyl blind to a very beautiful, hardwood blind,
Right.
And the vinyl shade is going to be $150, and that other, beautiful wood shade is going to be $500, right?
Right.
So now multiply that times
however many
whatever
windows you
windows
have.
is a big difference, right? Yeah.
Right. So my house has 8 windows and like a really, really big sliding glass door.
It's going to be expensive, Rich.
Thanks. Nice. That's what I was hoping for. That was the number.
Okay.
That was the number that I was hoping for. Where do most of your referrals come from? So you were saying from designers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know if your audience is aware that we belong to a BNI group.
Yeah, they know that I belong to a BNI.
Okay, well, now they know that I'm
that
part
you're
of
there
BNI as well.
Right. Yeah.
So BNI has been great for me. Since I joined that group, I have gotten many referrals.
Okay.
So, yeah. And other source of referrals, my best source of referrals are interior designers.
Okay, gotcha. Now, what areas does your company serve?
So we focus a lot on Broward County, Palm Beach County, but we'll go to Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, and we'll have to go to the Keys. We'll go there, So,
All right.
yeah.
And if somebody had a design project, they wanted to bring you in, how would they get a hold of you?
They can go to our website.
Okay. Which is right here, Cole. It's right here at the bottom of the screen that people are seeing.
www.myspaceshades.com.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Or they could call you.
Or they can call me.
Okay.
Yeah, they can call me. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
and you put my number here as well.
And the number's there too, right?
Okay.
The number, right? So yeah, I always give Cole work to make sure that
They put that
our
there.
programmer is paying attention to what's happening.
Yeah, they can
I should
call.
probably go online and see if they've always do that because I don't even know.
It would be
It's possible-
weird
It's
us doing this and nothing.
yeah,
popping
it's
up
possible
there.
that doesn't happen. So let me go back to before we wrap up, kind of the self-employed thing.
Okay.
What's a piece of advice that you would give to somebody thinking about going out on their own business, opening their own business? And some of the challenges you faced as a person reestablishing your business.
Okay. Okay, let's start with, the positive. It's very satisfying to, build something from scratch, right? Coming up with, every decision, every process, it's and when it start paying off, like I said, it's very rewarding, but it doesn't happen overnight, right? It takes, like you said, years for a business to start flourishing. And for example, you gotta be super patient. I would say that's the most important trait, right?
Okay.
Or yeah, that you have to have patience and determination.
Okay.
Those two things. And now you have to be prepared financially, because in the beginning it's gonna be tough, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're starting from zero. I mean, nobody's gonna call you, right? And it's frustrating sometimes, right? But if you put together that's another big thing. Put together a business plan, right?
Okay.
Business plans, I think, are important. Even that if things happen to change, well, they'll do, and then you adapt to those changes. But having that roadmap is going to help you, and be prepared financially again, because that's in the beginning it's going to be hard. I'm lucky that we had some savings, and my wife is, employed, so it's not like we didn't receive, we weren't making any money.
Right. No, I got you.
So yeah.
I think that one of the things that I see from people who are like self-employed and stuff like that is you have to make sure that you're devoting time to working on the business and not just in it, because on the business is going to help the business grow.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you have to make sure of that you do is when you have those moments of downtime, that you're maximizing what you're doing, because too many people sort of take their foot off the gas. Like it's funny because I think about people that hire like VAs, and we had David Rush on the podcast not that long ago. And, you hire a VA, and now that I have this time, well, what am I going to do? Well, if I'm going to spend time watching TV, it's not really going to benefit my business.
Exactly.
But if I'm going to do something working on my business that is, then getting a VA or making sure that you're using your time wisely.
It's an
and
investment.
Not just being busy,
Exactly.
right? There's a difference between being busy and spending your time wisely.
Correct.
Running MySpace Shades, what's been your biggest challenge?
In the beginning, wearing all hats.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
even installing. Yeah, I don't install now. I mean,
but you used to install?
I used to install some.
Okay.
Yeah. Not everything, but a lot of the shades, in the beginning, I installed them myself with a helper.
Okay.
And but that's, I guess it's, doing everything, right? From taking the phone calls to seeing the clients and everything. Yeah.
What, as an entrepreneur, what's the hardest lesson that taught you that nobody warned you about? Like the hardest lesson you learned that nobody tells you?
There are moments that you really want to quit.
Okay.
And like you say, okay, this is not for me, right? This is not working or whatever. But if you're, again, going back to patience, but if you persevere, then I don't know why, but things, the day after, they don't look that bad as the day before.
Okay.
And if you put the work, and like you said, you not just work at the business, but you you plan and you take the time to do that, yeah, it will pay off for sure.
All right. Well, I know my lesson was when you're self-employed, you go into being self-employed as you're your own boss.
Yeah.
And what I found out is I actually have 1,000 bosses.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, every client is
Every
your
client
boss.
is my boss.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not as in charge as I think I am.
And my designers, they are my bosses, but like my CEOs.
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the Loan Doctor podcast. I have been with Omar Orlortegui. Oh man, I got it wrong. I'm butchering it.
Yeah. Orlotegui. Orlotegui.
Orlotegui.
Yeah.
We're going to spell it over here.
Yeah, it's
Orlotegui. I can't believe that I have
even
not
hard,
learned
yeah.
after all this time how to pronounce your last name.
It's even hard to pronounce it in Spanish, though. Orlotegui.
Orlotegui. Yeah, I'm so
Yeah,
American.
whatever.
It's really, really bad. So I appreciate you being here on the podcast.
Rich, thank
For
you
those of
having
you
me.
listening, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for being in my waiting room.